Back to the Springs Radio Real Estate Show. I'm Cheryl Garlock with Colorado Front Range Properties, your host. Thank you for joining me here today. You know, I love to talk about wise decisions when it comes to real estate, and especially, you know, when we're talking about investing in property. And now this topic here covers a broad base here, whether you're the investor doing the fix and flip or you're the buyer that's looking for a really cool property that's already been all redone and redressed up and it's been the fix and flipper. Guess what? You need to be careful out there. Let me give you an illustration why. I happened to look at a property here just the other day that was truly a fix and flip property. I don't really understand what was going on in the minds of the people who actually bought it. They definitely fancy themselves regular routine investors. I do think that they came here from a different locale, though, needless to say. And values are different from, say, like California to Colorado. You pay a lot more for anything in California, even in a depressed environment, than you do in Colorado in a hot environment. That's just the name of the game. And the reason that's the way that is because real estate is fundamentally value based on three magic words: location, location, and guess what? Location. So what these folks had done is they found this property here that was a great opportunity to seemingly buy, and they went ahead and they flipped it. Now, number one, they paid, like, it was on the market, it was a bank-owned property, for $155, give or take right around there. Now, they made the mistake of paying too much for the property. And I'll tell you why it's a mistake here a little bit later on as we go through this. But anyway, they ended up buying it at about $181. They ended up dumping, I'm not sure how much money in there, but they should not have dumped more than about $25,000, $30,000 into the property, because they now are asking for a sales price of about $325. So did you do the math there? They bought it for $181 and now they're asking for $325. And folks, that's only been on a 6-month hold. A 6-month hold. That's almost a 60% return on their investment that they are asking for. I think it comes out to about 56. Listen, if you can make a 56 or 60% return on your investment in 6 months, I want you to let me know how to do it. You know, because, and I think our stockbrokers out there want to know how to do that. That's just really, unheard of, being able to do something like that. So that's why, again, location is so important. Now, they did dress this property up gorgeously, and that's another part of the problem there. A lot of times investors tend to OD, as I call it, on fixing up the property, because you know how it is. You get involved in a project, and you think, okay, well, if I add this, and I add this, and I add this, okay, this is going to really look great. So now they've got this beautiful property here, inside, gutted completely, top to bottom, upstairs, downstairs, everything. The whole 9 yards, granite kitchen, everything. Just gorgeous here. It's priced at $325-ish, right? But guess what happened? The neighborhood properties, and I mean the immediate neighborhood, the block, the other stuff on the block is like $155 to $170 at best. At best. All right, so you cannot pick this property up and move it. You know, so it might have been a good property to buy as an investment opportunity, but why did you pay nearly $30,000 over the asking price on it on a bank-owned deal? Because you didn't have the right mentality, the right information, the right knowledge. So again, this property, needless to say, has been sitting on the market for a long time, and they're wondering why it hasn't sold. Well, this is exactly why. Because it's overpriced for its location. It's just never going to cut the mustard when it comes to appraising the appraised value for the buyer's new loan. So what you got to really look at here is, if you're thinking about buying a property that's been fixed and flipped, or any property, that you really got to do your homework. You've got to make sure that you get a realtor that's going to really help you isolate what the real value is of the property, because we tend to be emotional and visual when we actually talk about buying property. We see it, we love it, we want to move into it. But you got to recognize what the rest of the other homes in the immediate area are selling for. And unfortunately, this property here is really only worth probably right around a 230 mark, maybe 235 at best, given its location. I think they're a little off. You know, I think they're just a little bit off and got some wishful thinking going on there. But anyway, That's too bad there. Just, you got to just really know what you're doing when you're buying investment property, and when you are a buyer looking at a fix and flip, you make sure you have a good realtor with you to help you actually understand, is the property really worth it there. Now, speaking about fix and flips here and doing new things to homes, when you buy a home and it's your new home, you're so excited about it. Now you got to go ahead and dress this home up and make it yours. So now don't let your thinking cap go awry here. So think about some of the design things that you're going to do to your new home, and they don't have to be expensive things at all. But there was an article in Realty Times about mistakes that people actually make right now. And some of these will be surprising to you. One is toilet rugs. Okay, toilet rugs. They got the kind that have the little rug that go around the bottom edge of the toilet there, and the top toilet seat cover now. Those are out. Don't use those things. In fact, use a wood toilet lid. That's a much better look for you to have, and maybe a small regular area rug, like a rectangular area rug. Following fads. If you have a home that is loaded with your beanbag chairs or old vintage item types of things, and you're thinking about selling that home, get rid of them. Find a good place to go put them. Rent a storage unit someplace there and go put those little things there away. Don't keep those out there because they're just way out of style. Speaking of style, faux finishes. Do you guys remember when those were really in the hot deal? Well, apparently they are gone. So get rid of those faux finishes there. So, and another thing that has gone away with style too is accessories. Hardware. I talk about this a lot of times. They're hardware. Your door hinges, your door cabinet handles and things like that. If they look old, they are old, and that's a cheap, easy way to dress something up to make it look new. And then we get a lot of people who think that they can do their own fixes themselves. And this article was very direct in pointing out, you know what? They make contractors and plumbers for a reason. And that's the truth, you guys there. So don't try a job that you really can't do there. I know that my daughter has a house that she is renting, and I know that the owners of that property went ahead and did their own remodeling, and they actually fancy themselves on their abilities to do that. And I got to tell you, the tile doesn't even match up, So they're going to have a little problem when they go to sell that property there. Last but not least, cable cobwebs. All those cords that extend below, the TV and other things like that. Tidy those things up, or go get yourself one of those cord keepers. So, hey, we got more to share with you on the Springs Radio Real Estate Show. Stay tuned. Get your pen and paper ready, because we got some properties to tell you about. We'll be right back.